Hey YouTube, Joe's Two Car Garage. We're looking at the 99 Pontiac Firebird LSX swap. And it's been about a month and a half since I made a video. And I thought I'd make one to show you the progress to this point. It's Christmas Eve 2016. And I think the last time I made a video I needed a new battery, which that is. And the cooling system was not complete. That's done now. I had to run rubber hoses from the heater core all the way to the engine. And those are on, and that was a blast trying to get back under that cowl and get those clamps tight. That was fun. I had to make this adapter. Oh, let's see. That adapter right there to go from a 1/4 inch line to a 3/8 for the steam port. I also had to make this bracket for the accelerator cable. This accelerator cable is off of a full-size Chevrolet pickup. It's about 34 inches long, if I recall correctly. And I was looking for somewhere in the neighborhood of 28 to 29, which would have came out and just left enough slack, but that was as close as I could get. So went ahead and used it. I made up this fuel line to replace the V6 line that I was going to use. I didn't like it due to the way it rubbed on everything back here. So these are two factory lines with, the flex rated stuff in between. And I just joined them together with that flared fitting right there. And that worked out pretty good, doesn't leak. The T that was in the back of the car, this is the elbow that went into the filter. And the T would be over here. One line would go to the front of the car, another one goes to the tank. This thing leaked like crazy. And if I can figure out how to get a focus on it here. If you look there, just in front of my finger here, on the back wall of the tubing, you can kind of see the seam where they weld that tube back together. That becomes really proud when you make the flare, and it just won't allow that flare to seal. So it leaks around that flare really good. So I had to go back in there with a Dremel and clean that up a little bit and grind that down on all three of them back there. And I had another fuel line with this bend. So I cut it 3/4 of an inch longer and put everything back together, and it worked. So right now, to this point, I have a fuel system. Cooling system is complete and full. Air is bled out of it. Because, yes, it runs. I ran it, got it up to operating temperature, and filled the cooling system. So that is complete. Everything seems to work. Nothing's leaking. So let's see. One of the problems I had was with this wire that I ran for the right side bank of coils and injectors. When I ran the wire from the fuse block to the C100 over there, I checked it from that point to here, and I had continuity and everything was good. What I didn't check was from a fuel injector plug back to the C100, which is what I should have did, because I had a problem in the plug where the two weren't touching. One of them wasn't seated all the way, and I wasn't getting any voltage on the other side of the plug. So nothing was getting to the coils or the injectors. The first time I tried to start it, it ran really bad on this side only. So once I traced that back, I got rid of that. I think it was a PO200 code. Motor. The computer was complaining that the injectors weren't operating properly. So figured that out, fixed it. And now I have a PO300, which is a random multiple misfire. It runs really good when it's ice cold. You can crack the throttle and it responds right away. It sounds real nice. And remember, it's on open headers. Well, I have a Y pipe on it now, but initially it was on open headers, so I thought it might be the O2 sensors, but it's not. Put the Y pipe on it, and just shoved the exhaust system on it underneath it, and it still does it. Still has the 0300, and my tuner Ken C is going to come by after the holidays and throw his laptop on it. We're going to try and figure out what's going on. But it does run, and it sounds real good. Motor's nice. No ticking, no knocking, no nothing. I'll prove it to you as soon as the door opens. Crank her up for you here. Yeah, pulley going around in a circle, it's running, so. Nothing's leaking. I'll shut it off before I close the door. You can see I got pretty good oil pressure. 65, 70 at idle. You can see all those other colored lights that are on there. So, at this point, I'm going to try and clean things up a little bit, and hopefully she'll be ready to move under her own power here pretty shortly. But it's a major step in the right direction. At least it runs. But like I said, once it warms up, it doesn't run well. It won't respond to throttle inputs other than to bog and try to die. So we'll see what happens. So there you go, YouTube. There's an update for you. So get out in the garage and play with your junk. Talk to you later.